And then there's Shedeur Sanders' first start. What's going on behind the scenes in Cleveland here, do you think? There's so much conversation about, certainly on I guess, the family of networks that includes this program with Cam Newton talking about sabotaging the young Sanders and so on and so forth. This is a week, though, where he is the starting quarterback of this team. All the other stuff is gone, as far as I'm concerned, unless it does actually filter in to the preparation process, Tom. Give me something. What do you have?
The starting point I would have on this,
Yes.
and I also, keep one eye on that family of networks when I'm on the stationary bike in the morning. And there was a topic bar yesterday, I believe, that said, if Shedeur plays well on Sunday, should he be the starter for the rest of the season? And that is such a drastic oversimplification, regardless of how this plays out. What I would recommend to people, wherever you fall on the Shedeur spectrum, whether you think that he's great, whether you think he's terrible, whether you think that he's being, to quote apparently Cam Newton, sabotaged, whether you believe that this is just how it works for backup quarterbacks in the NFL, there is going to be an overreaction to what happens on Sunday. I know a program that has a whole segment about that every Monday. What I would caution people here is to not overreact, because if you are in the category that Shedeur one game should prove he's the guy, you also have to be prepared to take that one game as seriously and say, well, if he doesn't play well, he's not the guy. I'm sure if that were the case, then it would be more talk about sabotage and everything else. But this is one start for a player on a team that has not been good offensively through the course of this season. They have I would say, a relatively favorable matchup because of some of the Raiders' struggles, although Patrick Graham's really smart with defense. He'll throw some different things at him. But it's not a team, the Raiders and their offense, where you think, all right, going in, we got to score 35 points or we're going to lose this game. The Raiders' offense has not played well this season either. So they see a lot of zone on the early downs. That allows you to strip things down and hopefully get some early confidence built. Just easy reads, easy throws, get him in the groove, the same stuff you would do for any other young quarterback. But this is still a challenge for Shedeur, just like any other young quarterback stepping in. I surveyed current and former offensive coordinators, Rich, at the start of the week, because there was so much discussion, and had been even prior to that game last week when he ends up in, because Dylan Gabriel gets a concussion, about he never had any first team reps. He's never had any. And I asked people, number one, how many reps are there in a practice week? How many actual reps? This is not training camp where you've at times got two fields going and you're rolling the ones and the twos and the threes and all the reps are split. That's not it.
Right.
There are maybe 70 to 80 live reps in a whole practice week. There's 3 days of practice. Some teams don't even go hard for 2 of those days, but there's maybe 70 to 80 at the most.
Mm-hmm.
The starting quarterback is going to take most, if not all, of those reps. Dylan Gabriel got a small number of first-team reps in practice, in part because Joe Flacco's a million years old. He needed to take some wear and tear off his arm. He didn't need all those reps. It's totally different when Shedeur is backing up Dylan Gabriel, because Dylan Gabriel needed to get all those reps to try to get him ready to play on Sunday. But I go back to a conversation I had early in the season and talking about just how the room was structured. This is when Flacco was still the starter on the team. A lot of the work that Shedeur was getting, because again, Dylan Gabriel was getting a lot of the scout reps like your number 2 quarterback does, they would keep guys on the field after practice and would be running some of the same plays and running with the young receivers. That is commonplace. He is, again, no matter what you think of Shedeur and how good he can be, and I'm as fascinated as anyone to see what plays out starting on Sunday. The reality is, as a rookie, 5th-round pick, 3rd-string quarterback, Shedeur has been treated like any other rookie, 3rd-string, 5th-round quarterback, which is, it's a tough position to be in. Brian Hoyer wrote an entire column at The Athletic today talking about the times where, what the life of the backup quarterback is, and how Tom Brady would basically tell him to bleep off if he ever came in the huddle and tried to get 1 rep during the week. That's part of the deal, is you have to go in there without that preparation. Well, now, Shedeur Sanders, he hasn't had 500 reps. He's had probably 70 to 80 reps. He's going to be more prepared. There's going to be a game plan that is tailored to him. But good, bad, or ugly on Sunday, This one game is not going to tell you to put the guy in the Hall of Fame or to cut him and move on. It's going to be one data point as the Browns gather a lot of data points to inform their decisions, whatever those are, about where they go from here in the quarterback room.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.